Hello guys, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm actually going to show you how to set up a Bukkit server, and this will be hopefully a lot better than my old one that I made a long time ago, and I don't even have it on my YouTube channel. It's set on private. Anyways, I'm going to just get you set up. If you just want to set up a Bukkit server on the thingy, and I'll actually get you something called BukkitGUI, which makes it a lot easier to start up. So I made a folder here called Bukkit test. It's empty, and what I'm gonna do with this is put all the files in here, because if I put it on the desktop, everything is just gonna be messy. So first of all, I'm going to open up my web browser, which is going to be Mozilla Firefox for today, and I'm going to go to java.com. And if you already have Minecraft installed, you should have Java, but I still want to just go through this step. So first of all, I would recommend downloading the latest one, which is version 7 updates 21. Now, depending on your system, you will have to download the 64-bit and the 32-bit. Now, mine is 64-bit, but if you if you go to Start menu, this is on Windows 7. It also works for Windows Vista, I think. If you go to Start menu, this should say Computer. Mine says Data Machine, which is actually Norwegian. But just right click and click Properties. And if you at least find this page that looks like this, and it's just system type 64-bit operating system. This says 64-bit. It could be 32-bit, but depending on your system, you should set up. So mine is 64-bit. I'm gonna download the Windows offline 64-bit one. Actually, I'm gonna save it. Thank you. I'm gonna save it on my desktop, and I'm just gonna pause the video or pause the recording until this is done. So bear back. So my download is now finished, and it's finished downloading, of course. I just repeated that. I'm just gonna minimize this window and open up this one. It should be called GRE 7U21. Well, this is update 21. If there's a newer update, the link will be in the description. I will link to this page, so you can choose between 32-bit or 64-bit, depending on your version. Anyways, yeah, so you do that, you double click it, press yes, and install. And this software has already been installed on your computer. Would you like to reinstall it? I'm going to reinstall it. That means I need to close my Minecraft. So it's going to take a little while until we install, but I will go through the installation just to make sure. So this is for 64-bit. It's pretty much the same for 32-bit. I think it's exactly the same. It just says 32-bit here instead of 64-bit. So now it says it's installing Java. It's gonna take a little while, and I'm just gonna keep recording through this, because I just want you to have the right version. If you have 64-bit, it's recommended to run. If you have a 64-bit Windows, it's recommended to run a server on 64-bit. So I'm just gonna verify it, and I'm just gonna close it because I know it will work. So now that you've done that, you can go to bukkit.org, and here you can get the Bukkit, well, the jar file for Bukkit that you will need. And I'm actually gonna go to a wiki page, because just so it's easy. So I'm gonna go into the first page, because this is the latest beta build on Bukkit, and I'm gonna download it, and it should save. Yes. So I'm gonna save it in my Bukkit test folder and just save it there. And this is gonna take a little while to download too, so I'll also be right back for this one. So now my jar file is done downloading. I'm gonna remove it from history. I'm gonna minimize my Mozilla again, and here you can see it. Now, for ease of use, I'm gonna rename this to Bukkit. This is just so I don't want the long ass name to say Craft Bukkit, whatever the fuck it's called. So yeah, that's just for ease of use. I recommend doing it You can rename it server or Bukkit, but I'm going to use Bukkit, and if you name it something else, I'm going to show you how to make sure that it also works with the badge file and we'll need to download or make actually. So yeah, now I should I've linked to that. I'm going to link that in the description. And what you're going to do here is, you see for Windows, I'm also going to copy this and put a download in the description for this too. As you can see, there's this Windows thing here. It says download craft Bukkit, blah blah blah. This is not the latest one. The latest recommended build is only for 1.4.7, I think. I don't think they have a recommended build for 1.5, so I'm not going to use that. And I'm going to copy this, and I will put the batch file in the description. I will open Notepad++. You can actually use Notepad, normal Notepad, and just paste it, but I'm going to use Notepad++. The link for that will also be in the description. So, you have this, and I'm just going to tell you. First of all, you see this where it says Craft Bukkit jar. Yeah. This is basically the jar file that you want to use. So, since mine is named Bukkit, I have to change this to just bukkit.jar. Okay? If you named your server, you would have to change it to server. Okay? It needs the .jar extension behind it also. But I'm gonna keep mine on Bukkit and just name it Bukkit. So I just like it that way. The XMS and XMX are for I think it's the minimum amount of RAM that you want the server to use and the maximum amount of RAM. So I recommend keeping this the same. If you want to run on more than 1 gig, you would have to go. You would have to change this. If I can go 2 gigs, which is 2048 megabytes. This is set in megabytes. I'm just going to show you the ratio. So 1 gigabyte is 1024 megabyte, or actually just M. 2 gigabyte is 2048 megabyte. 3 gigabyte is 3096, I believe. No, 72. And 4 gigabyte is 4096 megabyte. And for every gigabyte is added 1 more megabyte, or 1024 megabytes, as you can see here. I'm just gonna go from 1 to 4 because most servers usually don't need more than 2 gigabytes unless you really want to run a shit ton of plugins or a mod pack like Feed the Beast. So yeah, unless you want a big server. So I'm gonna change this to 2 gigabyte, but you can also have it on just 1 gigabyte. It all depends on how much RAM you have, and that is memory. It can also be done if you check on computer, right click and properties, and it says install memory, RAM. Mine says 8, so I can use up to 8. I don't recommend using 8, like your full amount of RAM, because, for example, if I'm on my computer and I already use 3 gigabytes of RAM, like just normally, so I'm just gonna keep it at 1 because I don't need more. Okay, so when we've done every single thing of this, put the Java, blah blah blah. I'm gonna save it as server. Actually, I'm just gonna save it start.bat, the batch file extension. This is important. You can't save it as a txt. You cannot. Also, you have to make sure it's saved in the same folder as the Bukkit server jar. Okay. Sorry. So it needs to have the .bat extension, or else it will not work. If you save it as a txt or just a normal text file, it doesn't work at all. So, once you've done that, I'm going to close that tab, because you don't really need to do anything else. Go to start, or double click it, and it should start up. Now, this will make all the files you need. This will be just set up, and so on and so forth. So, when it's done generating, you should stop the server to do your final edits, because you're still not properly done. So, if you use, for example, Hamachi, I have my Hamachi IP here. So I'm going to copy this. If you use Hamachi, then you need to put the Hamachi IP into the server properties. I'm going to use Notepad++ again to use to open the server properties, but you can use Notepad, I think, and WordPad, even though WordPad is kind of risky to use. I'm going to, under server IP, I'm going to put in my my thingy, my what's it called? My Hamachi IP. So I'm gonna just leave everything like this. No whitelist, no thingies, no blah blah. Online mode true, yeah, so on and so forth. Okay, so after I've done that, I'm gonna start the server, and I'm also gonna join my server using this IP that I wrote here on Hamachi. And we're back. I'm just gonna start up my Minecraft, and I'll be on the server. I'll be in the multiplayer. So as you can see, I'm now on Minecraft multiplayer. This is I added my test server. You can see the IP here. It's the exact same IP as put in here. It's 21.118.1.180. This is the, yeah. So what you can do now is just click join server if you've added it through your Hamachi, and you should be good to go. Note that this server is now running on online mode set to true, and it will not work with cracked clients. The reason for that is that it's connecting to the Minecraft or Mojang login servers, and it's checking if your account is logged in, like with the proper info, like with the password and stuff. For cracked clients, you only set a name and you don't have the skin and blah 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 blah. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Well, not fix it, but if you want to host a cracked server, I will not stop you, because there are plentiful of other tutorials out there, and though I still do not recommend doing so. If you want to host a server for your friends, that's fine, but first of all, if you have a paid Minecraft account and you are going to host a public server, hosting a server that has online mode set to false will actually make people able to join and grief easily on your server, because it doesn't check if the account is true, so someone can log in with your op name and do a bunch of crap. So first of all, this is the easy part. You go into server.properties, you set online mode to false. Actually, I need to stop the server. You set online mode to false, and then you go into your batch file. You click edit. Actually, I'm going to edit with Notepad++. You see your start.bat. You can click edit right there. It says on Norwegian here, but I'm going to click edit with Notepad++. What you need to do is edit this thing on the end and set it to false instead of true. Now, when you start up the server, it will say this with the big text: server is running in offline/insecure mode. The server will make no attempt to authenticate usernames. Beware. While this makes the game possible to play without internet access, it also opens up the ability for hackers to connect with any username they choose. To change this, set online mode to true in the server properties file. So it makes it easier for stuff to do. So I do like for people to just go into your server and ruin it completely if you have hosted public server. Now something that is this is a basic thing. Now what is actually recommended if you don't like the CMD or the command prompt window to open up when you open your server, you can go to dev. Actually, I'm just going to search on it and put the link in the description. So I'm going to search for BukkitGUI into one word. And you see the BukkitGUI project. This page will be linked in the description too. This is actually basically a batch file, but, well, it's not really a batch file, but it's actually pre-made. So, how would I say this? The file is made so you can open the server, you can have more control, and you can understand better if you're not that advanced user. And I actually like to use this because it gives you more of an overview. Now I need to download this, and it's gonna take a few seconds. Also need to take a drink because my voice is getting tired, so be right back again. Okay, so the download is finished. I'm gonna open my folder, and I'm gonna double click BukkitGUI and run it. Now this will open, it will do a running update check and blah blah blah. You can see the version and stuff here. And I'm gonna maximize the window. Now important thing is here, go to server options, and you could see all the things here. And actually, you can edit your server.properties file here. You can edit your banned players, your banned IPs, your whitelist, and your ops. I can add myself as an op here, doing ops add. Boom. I can set up backups. Here's some updates that I really don't need. Here's a task manager that I like to use for my other server. But this is the most important part. That here you can choose the minimum amount of RAM. You can set that to whatever you want, but I'm going to set it to 128 just to keep it at default. And the maximum amount of RAM is 1 GB. Sorry. Now what you need to remember is to put this on Bukkit, and you need to put the Java version for whatever you have. If you have GRS7 that I put down to, you need to make sure you have if you have 32-bit, you have to put GRE7x32 or GRE7x64 if you have 64-bit. If you have an older version, you decided not to download the latest GRE7 and you have GRE6, you need to make sure that you put the right one for whatever you have installed, and you can check that going to computer, your main hard drive, program files, and then Java. Okay? And if you don't have that, and then check if you have a programs file and x86 in the brackets, but whatever, I recommend you installing GRE7. So, I'm gonna run this on 64. Now, this is also important, the jar file. You need to make sure that this is it's actually checked. I'm gonna put online mode back to true. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna go to Superstart again. Now, if you've placed the BukkitGUI in the same server folder, this will be really easy. Just put your name of the jar file, which is my case is Bukkit, and then put .jar. It's that easy. If you have this GUI placed on the desktop, but you have this server folder in somewhere else, you have to open this and navigate to the bukkit.test, which is here, and it will just say C users Alex, which is my username, desktop, bukkit test, and bukkit.jar. But I'm just gonna do ease of use and do bukkit.jar and keep the BukkitGUI in that folder. So you can click launch server, but hold on, be right back. I need to do something. Okay, I'm back now. I have my online mode set to true, but for example, I can start the server and it will start up like normal. This will have more of a better overview. You have a better console window. You can see text more better, and so on and so forth. They're sorted a lot better, and I like it this way. This is one of the reasons I like it. I'm gonna go on Minecraft and connect to the server again. And as you can see, I'm still running fine. I'm lagging a bit considering I'm recording plus having Firefox open, which eats my RAM, and also I'm hosting the server and playing Minecraft, so whatever. But yeah, you get my point. I'm just gonna disconnect again. So yeah, after that you can click stop, you can wait for it to stop, you can kill the server if you want, but it's not recommended because killing the server might mess up your world. Now if you actually want the cracked server ability again, but I'm warning you, you shouldn't do it because easily people will hack you, or get into and hack, whatever. Put it to false, click start again, and as you can see it will say here, server running in offline mode, and this will be yellow actually instead of, because it's a warning will be yellow on default, and it will say the server will make no attempt to authenticate usernames, beware while this makes the game possible to play without in blah blah blah. I read it before. It makes you able to join with a cracked server or with a cracked account. I have a legitimate bot account, so I can't really show you that, but I promise you it will work if it says that it's running in offline secure and you're connected to the right server. Okay. So this has been me showing you how to host a micro server. It was a long tutorial. I kind of made it long just to be able to explain more. If you need any more help, please feel free to comment and send me a PM or something. If you can comment, then it would be fine. It could probably help out others more. What I'm going to do is put a link to basically Notepad++, the latest beta build the latest beta build for 1.5.2. Well, this is 1.5.2, but I will put a bunch of links in the description that you will probably need for Java, for Notepad++, BukkitGUI, for everything. Okay. So yeah, again, if you need any help, please feel free. Oops, that was my Skype. I was supposed to open that. Feel free to comment about it, and I'll try to help you out. If there's anything else you need help with, like hosting your server without Hamachi or without having to port forward, I have a tutorial on that. Link is in the description. I'll also put an annotation somewhere on the screen. And yeah, I hope that helped you out. Either way, I think that's it. I hosted, just to let you know, I hosted this through Hamachi because I find it easier than opening uTorrent and blah blah blah, whatever I did in my tutorial. So yeah, either way, if you want to host a server publicly, please put it on online mode because it's safer for you as the server host, and it lets people like think about actually buying Minecraft, because I want more and more people to buy Minecraft. It's a great game. So yeah, I guess I'll make another tutorial later in my life, and I hope this helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe and all that crap, and please share this video if you can. If you have anyone that wants to host a server, please tell them to use this video. And yeah, either way, see ya guys.